Good morning, Sunday morning. Well, it's somewhat cloudy today, which is very good because we're not cooking in the hot sun. I've been kicking the idea around about going to Jewett City all week. I've been listening to the weather guessers, and the weather's just hot. Terrible, terrible, terrible weather. But I told Tommy, I says, we're going to play it by ear. I want you up by 6 a.m. And if it's cloudy, it doesn't appear to be sun coming through, we'll go to McDonald's, which is the only show in town now, of course, eat, and then hit the road. That's what we did. He was up at 6. Actually, he was up about 5 minutes before I got up, but I was up at 6. I went out, and I said, cloudy, not comfortable, kind of stuffy, and decided to take the big van because we're down to about 3/4 of a tank, maybe a little under, between 3/4 and a half of a tank now on the minivan. And I just filled up the big van, so we took that. We went up there, and as luck had it, luck was on our side. It was cloudy. Occasionally, a few little sun started coming through a few of the clouds, but nothing major. We got there after we ate, time we got up there, about 7 a.m. And that place was full, of course, because the vendors get there early. And did not video anything. There wasn't anything special, except I've got a few items here. Tommy didn't really find anything in the way of DVDs. He bought us a camera case for $1, So we got up there at 7. We were all done looking around at about 8:30 in the morning. The sun started coming out, and I said, well, we're going to have to book it. We went into the building. It was very stuffy in the building. So I just couldn't wear my mask. I was down, and then I have it so I can pull it up if I'm near anybody. And there was some people in there that didn't wear them because if you can't breathe, you're not going to wear them. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. My health comes before anything else. If I pass out from not being able to get my oxygen because I'm breathing in carbon dioxide, I'm going to take it off. But as it was, it worked out pretty good. Nothing in the building. A lot of the vendors were not open yet. I guess some of them, one of the vendors told me, well, some of them probably celebrated too much with 4th of July fireworks, which there was a lot of them in this area here. Illegal fireworks as late as 11 p.m. and it jolted me out of bed a couple of times because I go to bed before 11. But no fireworks in Connecticut that I know of, public fireworks. So the only fireworks I saw on YouTube are ones that were recorded last year, and stuff like that. Anyways, we left at 5 after 9. I was on the second floor of the building, and I'm coming down the stairs, and I said, well, Tom, let's head out. We already covered the outside 3 times around. So we headed out. The sun was out, but then it went behind the clouds, and it became cloudy again. But it started getting too damn hot. And, so I told Tommy this in the beginning. I said, you got to get there early in this miserable hot weather before the sun comes out and bakes you. So it worked out good, and I'm glad that we were able to go. I got some items here on the bench, small items, that I am going to be showing you with the Kodak PlayTouch because I can get some little close-ups on it. Nothing big, nothing that's going to take up a lot of room in the shop, so I think I'll show them to you now. Stand by. I got you on a tripod, but it's going to be a little difficult because I can't get a very good shot of this. I picked up this banana plug clip, hook clip. You can never have enough of these. I bought this one, and I can't, my eyes are not focusing because I don't have my damn glasses on, as always. Banana and clip lead, Pomona. That's a good brand name. When I worked at Aikens, we used to sell these things. That's number 3. This is number 4. Okay, these will definitely come in handy in my shop. So all 4 of these, $5 from one particular vendor. Okay. You know very well I can't work on these things. You know that. Okay. The guy that's had the radios finally had radios today. Now, I haven't been to Jewett City in 3 or 4 Sundays in a row because of the hot, miserable weather. So I have no idea what he had a few weeks ago because I wasn't able to go there. But today he had a total of, I think, 7 or 8 different transistor radios, and he says $10 a piece, or he gave me a price of like $40 or $50 for the whole shebang, which I didn't have that kind of money anyways. And I'm not a collector of these things, but I picked this one up. He wanted 10, and he says, you buy stuff from me, a 2 for 10. So I took him up on it. I bought this one and another one for $10, 5 a piece. I like the looks of it. I'm off camera again, nothing new. I'm looking at the item, and I'm not even looking in the viewfinder because I can see the item better than I can in the viewfinder. All right, it's I can't read that. I'm not going to take the time with a magnifying glass. You can read it better than I can. All right, it's a nice radio. None of them, I don't expect it to work. It's got a little pressed in on the grill. I joked with him. I says, "Hey, somebody replaced the capacitor in here. See this? Somebody added a little cap in here, probably across an electrolytic, which doesn't. That's not an electrolytic, but you can see that it's not bad." But of course, I can't work on these things. My eyes are no damn good. It looks like. When was the last time you seen a schematic inside of a transistor radio? Not too often. Okay? So that's a nice little radio. And this beauty, it's turquoise. The camera may or may not show that up. It looks blue in the camera viewfinder, but we don't know what it looks like on the video. AM, of course, just like the other one. I was not able to open this over there. We'll do that, but I'm going to have to do it on the bench. It looks like a little place you can stick something in here. Oh, there it is. All right. General Electric, the patent numbers, I guess. I can see Doug drooling over there. If I had better eyesight, this would not be a real hard radio to work on. This probably takes one of them. Oh, it's loose here. I'm not sure. if that's supposed to be like that or not, but it takes one of them round, probably 9 volts. So you could probably convert it over to one of them little clips for the square 9 volts, but I don't have those clips or the little leads. I'd have to get them from eBay. But I will later on probably try to power this up with clip leads onto this, because I'm pretty sure it's got to be 9 volts. It wouldn't be less than that. But it's a nice looking radio. It's even got a gold grill cloth. You can see it if you get the light just right on it. So there was 3 or 4 other ones in the batch that he had over there that I liked the looks of too. I was almost tempted after I put these in the van. I went back and a guy was over there and he had all the rest of the radios scoffed up. And he bought them, and I was talking to him. I said, yeah, I was almost going to buy them all, I says, but I didn't want to spend that much money. I didn't have it on me anyway, so nothing new. But I told him I got these 2. And I didn't have a bag, so I was carrying it around and holding my mask and stuff like that. So I put these out, and when I got back, that guy bought the others. But that's okay, because I've looked at them 3 times. I was over there, and the guy that has the radio, he says, big time spender. I says, no, big time methane gas producer. And he got a kick out of that. And I was farting at the time. I went over to the side where he was selling DVDs, and I had to let off a nasty smelly fart. And of all times, he had to walk over there and says, how you doing today? I says, not bad for an old fart. But anyways, so that's a nice looking radio, and so that's what I've got as far as radios today. Yes, been wanting one of these Triplet 630. He told me it needs batteries, and of course I know it takes a 30-volt battery. You're not going to get those without paying an arm and a leg, so you put 2 3 9-volt batteries in series, I guess. But even though it takes that special battery, and I think that's only for the ohm meter anyways, it's a 630, as I already looked at it on the with a magnifying glass. The meter movement, as you can see, does move, but the last time I bought a meter, it was a can't remember what it was. Simpson. You probably seen the video on it last year that I made. The meter movement was no good, and I donated it to the ham auction last year. Let's hope that the meter movement is good in this. Oh, what did I pay for it? The guy wanted $15 for it, and I didn't hassle a bit. I whipped out a $20 bill and handed it to him. He gave me $5 change. As a matter of fact, on the radios, the guy, I didn't have to hassle with him either. He gave it to me. So I bought the Pomona plugs. That was $5. The 2 transistor radios from the other vendor was $10. So that's $15. And then $15 from this from another vendor. This is not the guy that had the radio. This was a completely different vendor. So for $30, that's what I'm out the door for today. So let's see if we can get anything out of it here. Now the leads he enclosed with it are thin and kind of cheap, but I don't expect a very good set of leads. I've got good leads, and I can make up a set of leads, but these are better than the Harbor Freight little cheapy meters. This is a little better grade, but not much. than those meters use. So let's see, we got the common. And the volts, ohms, and amps down here. R times 1. I don't expect any movement out of it because the batteries are no good. Although there's a little movement on the R times, excuse me, the R time or the X1000, there is a little movement there. So that tells me the movement, the meter movement's good. And this is the X100,000 times. So it's to me like we've got a good meter here. Now, let's put it on volts. Let me get my eyes in, not used to using this. I've never owned one of these. $12 volts. Oh, I moved the camera. I hope that didn't knock you out of the view here. I'm clumsy elbows. You have to excuse me. I can't see this without getting my ugly head in the way. Ohms adjust. DC amps. I got to be very careful. I don't want to blow this meter out by putting it on the wrong range. I'm making sure. That says 12 volts. But I want to find out if I'm on DC volts or AC volts. I don't see a setting. I don't see a setting anywhere for setting it on AC or DC volts. So there's probably a probe hole for that. Well, there's an output. I never could understand, even the Simpson 260, what the output is. There's usually a capacitor, but why a multimeter would have an output, it don't make sense. I never could figure that out. But anyways, I am looking for all right, this is DC volts. Okay, that's AC volts, all right? Now I see where it is. DC here, AC here. Sorry, when you've got bad eyesight and you're not familiar with something, this is what you do. Okay, now we're on 12 volts, DC. All right, let's get a 9-volt battery. Let's see if it works. All right, let's see where we're at. This battery here, as I recall, will read close to 10 volts. It's almost new. If it was used in anything, it was just tried in something and taken right out. So we're on the 12-volt scale, which would be the black scale. So where my thumb is 10 volts. Yep. Let me get macro. Give you a close look at the meter. I don't know if that's in focus, because on the play touch, I think you have to turn it off and turn it back on when you put it in macro. I don't know if it's a mechanical thing or not, but I'll give you a closer look at that. Okay, I just put this battery on my Fluke 73 digital meter. It read 9.83 volts. So this read, just about on 10. So let me get my ugly head in there. And magnifying glass. Sorry for the head. Yes, it's under 10. Alright, so that's perfect on that range. So let's go to the 60 volt range. And that would be the next scale up. If you looked at the close-up, I gotta wash this. It's very dirty. I gotta clean it with Windex. 60 volts, 50, 40, 30. All right, 10 is right here. All right, I just want to see if that scale is working. So, yep, right on it. That's 10 right there. On the second scale down, you probably can't see that from that distance. All right. Hang on a minute. All right, I have to handhold this. I cleaned the glass on the meter. Now you can get a good look at it. It's in really, really nice shape. I'm going to run some voltage tests on this now. I won't be able to show you that too close here, but I'll do my best. This is the best I can do. I'm sorry about the glare. There's not much I can do about that. There's a reading on it now. What I'm getting, I'm on the 3 volt scale. You can't see the dial, the switch position, but it's on 3 volts. I got the power supply turned down. It's 0.476 volts. We're on the 3 volt full range scale. Okay, so I'm looking at my Fluke 73, and we're going to put it up to 1 volt. I got to adjust the fine. Power supply has a fine adjust for the voltage. There is 1 volt. That is 1 volt on my Fluke 73 meter. Sorry, I got to get my magnifier here. We're on the 3 volt range, so we are reading the top black scale. Okay, so let's crank it up to 2 volts, which should land me right here. Yep. Digital meter. I'm not looking at the triplet. 3.06. I need to cut that down a little bit. Too low. I'm sorry, I gotta sit down. I'm trying to hold it. Okay, exactly 3 volts. There it is. I hope you can see that. There's a nasty reflection from my light overhead, and I gotta... Best I can do, I'm sorry. Okay, now let's... The power supply will only go up to 18 volts, so we're going to go to the 12 volt scale now. Full scale is be 12 volts, so we're reading the bottom, the third scale down. We're still set on 3 volts. So between 2 and 3, between 2 and 4 is 3 right here. Let's crank it up to 12 volts. And again, I can't see it. I gotta do it sitting down. So let's go to 12 volts. Exactly 12 volts. Yep, and we're right over on that range. So we're perfect on this. We are perfect on this. All right. Now, the highest that power supply that I have that I normally use, which is this one here, the highest it'll go is 18 volts. So the meter reads 20, but it'll go to 20. This is the current limiter, and this is the fine adjustment voltage. So we've got the fine adjustment all the way up, and we're reading 18.52. So let's crank that down to 18. Sorry for the shakiness. I'm having a hard time seeing this. I have to get real close. All right. That's as close as I can get my supply. So let's see what the triplet's reading. All right. Sorry for the fingers. Fingers were invented before pointers. 20 and 18. Reading on the second black scale from the top. On the 60 volt full scale, reading 18 volts, which is right here. I'm moving the meter so I get that reflection out of the way there. Okay, what I'm going to do now is the most this will put out a little over 600 volts. I've got the meter probe in the 6,000 pin connector on the triplet. We start out there so we don't damage the meter, because that'll be my luck. So we've got the leads ready to go. We're going to be putting on our Fluke 73. I could actually use this. Either one, they'll read about the same. What I've got to do here is I took out the red plug out of the volts, ohms, and amps here, and I put it into the 6,000 jack. Let's see. Let me see something here. Something isn't right here. Hang on. I tell you, when you're not used to this, you never use something like this, it's got to be very, very careful. That's why I always double check and triple check. This is DC. I think I had it plugged into AC. Alright, so this is DC, but it says 6,000 volts. But I don't want to take a chance and put it into here where it was before when I was doing all the other readings. Okay? And that's AC volts, so that would be up to 6,000 volts. This is DC volts up to 6,000, so this is where I want to be. So 6,000 volts is going to be... Oh, my eyes, that's not focusing. I can't read that. Again, I'm sorry. You have no idea how frustrating it is. I got my magnifier out. Okay, the second black scale, 600 or 6,000 full scale. So that's where you want to read it. Okay, so what we're going to do is to hook it up, and then I'll show you a screenshot afterwards. All right, here's 200, reading on the top scale, black, right there. All right, full scale, 300. We're on the 300 range now. We had the lead in the 6,000 pin jack before. So we're going to keep the telemic set on 300. There it is right there. Okay, you just got to push this button in here to test it, but it's putting out the 300 right now. So let's put the pin jack, a red plug, into this 6,000 volt pin jack. Okay, we're reading way down here, but I'm not sure. We're reading on the 300. We're into the 6,000 DC pin jack here. And if I drop this down to 300, it don't make any difference. We put it on 300, it moves it a little bit, and we put it on to 6,000, doesn't make any difference. So maybe that range isn't working. So let me crank the telemic up all the way, and I'm looking at this here now. The telemic is putting out 686 volts. Alright. It don't make any difference whether I go from the 6,000 to the 300. We're stuck in the 6,000 pin here. So it reads a little lower on that. You can see the needle go. So that might be why I got it cheap. I mean, it would be nice if the 6,000 range worked. I don't have anything that'll put over 600 volts right now. The Sprague telemic is the highest voltage producing unit that I have right now. So the telemic is putting out 685 volts. That's the max that it will put out. Alright, so we put that back down again. We'll put the voltage back down all the way. Alright, so we're not going to worry about that. It's getting hot in here. I'm going to have to put the AC on. Hang on. So I'm pretty sure I'm doing it right. There could be a problem with the... we got the voltage all the way down on the telemic now. Let's see, we go back into here. And... alright, we still got a tiny bit of voltage coming out of the telemic. The controller's all the way down. We're getting about 12.4 volts coming out of the telemic right now. Okay, we got the AC running in the shop. I'm lucky the voltage is that high. Okay. We're on the 300 volt AC. We're going to flip the switch. And 300 volt. I did remember what scale it was, and we got to get my magnifier out again. 300 right here. So we are, hang on, close as I can tell. Can't get that reflection out of there. You see where the needle is. Okay. Okay, so we flick this off, pull this out, put this back on because I got to have my dehumidifier running here. I'm getting water in it. Got to dump it. So that's it. I'm very happy with this. I don't know about the high voltage end of it, but I think we're going to open it up now and see what it has, if any batteries in it. I just noticed the case has a crack in it here. Hopefully it don't fall apart when I open it. Overall the case is in good shape, except for that one part. So to save video time, because this is HD, I'm going to open this off camera. Okay, the D cell's not the problem. I can test that anyways. It's this is probably the 30 volt battery right here. And everything looks good. With my magnifier again. Yeah, I'm looking over these coils here. Resistors or whatever they are. There's a coil here. Another coil here. But they're probably wire wound resistors. Here's your capacitor for the output of the output jack, which I never understood what it was for, but I've never used it in the meters I've had. Let's see. Interesting. Got to test that. And now let's see what we got here. I think it's a 30-volt battery. Got a wicked reflection here. Let me pull that out. And I can't seem to get that out. The spring don't move back. It probably screws in somehow. I probably got to put a screwdriver in there and turn that. It's like clamped in, I think, because I can't get that out. This one here is spring loaded. Now let me try it again. I'll do it off camera. Yeah, I got it out. I had to put a screwdriver in there and kind of like pry it. This does push in. So let's examine this here. It looks like 30 volts. All right, let's test it. All right, I hope it's in focus. I think I'm still on macro. All right, first the 1.5 volt battery. Let's test that first. 1.391. 1.391. Okay. Now the 30 volt battery. I had it. It's tough, boy. Tough to see. All right, what do we got? 29.46, 29.44, 43 dropping. 29.38. Alright, I cleaned up the contacts. They got a little kit on each one of these, so you really can't clean it good with the emery cloth or the pencil eraser, but I did the best I could. And I cleaned up the bottom a little bit with the pencil eraser. But see, it's got a little tit on it. It matches the connectors here. Okay, that concludes the video. I think I did pretty good today. No big deal if the ohm meter don't work on this because of the batteries. I could put a regular D cell in there. I just got to know what is positive and what's negative because there's no engraving. Let me see something here. Hang on a minute, I get the magnifier. Okay, it's marked right on the thing here. The 30 volt positive, 30 volt battery positive goes to the left. 1.5 volt D cell positive goes to the right. It's marked. It's engraved. Very, very hard for me to see, but I spotted it. So if they're incorrectly, they're not leaking, so I guess I could leave this in. And when I get time, I'll hunt it. I don't think I'm going to be able to even try to get a battery for this, because if you can, they're going to be very, very expensive. But regardless, I think I got a good deal on this. I don't know about the 6,000 volt range. That would go up into here. It could, there's a resistor for it right there. I could measure it, but I'm not doing that today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.